Who would have thought that against all odds, we are going to see an Ethereum ETF approval tomorrow by the SEC? At least the first step, the first milestone might be approved tomorrow. It might still take a couple more weeks until we then can start trading. But yeah, we went from a 7% to a 63% chance here on Holy Market. And now is the time to follow James Seyfarth as well as Eric Balchunas. They're both analysts at Bloomberg, and they're also keeping us updated on all that is happening behind the scenes. They're very close to the source. And James just said, update, it's happening. We have at least 5 of the potential Ethereum ETF issuers that have submitted their amended 19B4s in the last 25 minutes. That includes Fidelity, VanEck, Invesco, ARK, as well as Franklin. And the major thing that they have now done is actually entirely remove staking. So this is, well, bullish and bearish at the same time. Bullish because this might mean that the SEC has indicated that yes, they are going to approve the ETF tomorrow, but bearish because it excludes staking. So the SEC is still not giving the blessing to proof of stake, but at the same time they are seemingly giving the blessing to ETH as an asset, at least unstaked ETH, to actually be a commodity and not a security. And also, like I said yesterday, reopens the liquidity gates for crypto in general, which is very bullish for Ethereum, for the ETH price, and eventually also for all altcoins. So while all eyes are on for tomorrow's decision and tomorrow's price action, today's maybe the calm before the storm, unless some information leaks today. Remember when we had the Bitcoin spot ETF decision in January, there was massive volatility the day before and the day of the decision. So expect and brace for massive volatility over the next 24 or 48 hours, even post ETF approval. If this actually gets approved, I think we're going to see a massive pump, but then also we have to wait for the S1 applications to be approved as well, because only then we can start trading. On another note, Bitcoin inflows keep pumping massively, $305 million yesterday. BlackRock alone, $290 million. We're now only $400 million away from the flipping between BlackRock and Grayscale. Grayscale itself has seen a total cumulative net outflow of $18 billion though. This is very important to note here, that the Grayscale Bitcoin ETF had around 38 or let's say $40 billion in their ETF, which basically was a trust before they then converted it after the ETF got approved. And then they have only seen outflows because most of these BTC that were in that Grayscale trust fund were accumulated at very low prices and massive discounts, which is why people have been selling off, which is also why their fees so high, because they knew people were selling off. So this is the Grayscale situation. And on Ethereum, the Grayscale situation is not that much different. And in Grayscale, in the Grayscale trust, we have actually around $10 billion that are laying around here, almost 11 billion, $10.8 billion assets under management, which if the ETF gets approved, would also be converted into an ETF. And then probably we would see a similar scenario here for the Ethereum spot ETF for Grayscale, which means outflows for a long time. And this could then also harm the Ethereum price or hold it back from pumping unless the other ETF providers could absorb and even outperform all of these outflows from Grayscale. So the bullish case is obviously that tomorrow the SEC will approve the Ethereum spot ETF applications, and then we'll see a continued altcoin season, an altcoin rally, where a lot of these altcoins are actually approaching their all-time highs from years ago. At least that is something that we would love to see here, of course. Now, another indicator why this rally is just getting started is that Trump officially opened the race and the battle for crypto in the White House and on the political stage by now accepting crypto. This is actually insane to read this here, and also insane to see what coins he is actually accepting for his campaign. And this is a big signal to the current administration that Trump is at least pretending to embrace crypto and to be the candidate for all crypto bros out there. So let's see. Obviously, this is politics. It's all about votes. It's all about telling stuff that people want to hear, so they vote them. So I always take that with a grain of salt, but also I think if Trump is really going all in on that, he has this NFT collection, he publicly stated that he's going to embrace crypto and basically presented himself as a pro-crypto candidate. I think it's also going to be very hard for him to kind of do a 180 on that if he would get elected. But yeah, this is politics. You never know. Anything is possible. And yeah, now it seems like the Democrats as well are trying to catch up with that and to not scare away all crypto bros. And yeah, that will obviously cost them a lot of votes. Switching gears, looking into the Cosmos ecosystem, we can see small setbacks here, minus 1%, 2%, 3% across the board. Celestia, one of the gainers today, up 2%, Kava 0.4%. But overall, we're pretty flat. Mars, Kudos, and Secret are the top gainers here on the day. And the price action over the next 48 hours is going to be affected by the Ethereum spot ETF. So it's all eyes on that. But I also wanted to share some quick updates, actually breaking news on the Cosmos Hub and Atom that could actually turn Atom more into interchain capital and also open up a new source of revenue for Atom. So let's actually look into that. And that is all around the protocol-owned liquidity thesis and Atom being interchain money or interchain capital, in which the liquidity across the interchain, across all of the DeFi applications on Osmosis, IST, Quasar, Astroport, all of these different DEXs and DeFi applications, that all this liquidity is basically mostly rallying behind Atom as interchain capital to make Atom one of the most liquid assets in the interchain DeFi ecosystem and beyond. So we've seen a bunch of proposals, which we discussed here on this channel in depth over the past years, to be honest. And the most recent one is actually here from April by the DCF, which is the foundation behind Agoric. And they were requesting 4% of the community pool from Atom to be liquid staked with Stride and P-Stake, 90% with Stride, 10% with P-Stake, to then actually be used as collateral to mint IST. Now, step one has been completed. The multisig completed the liquid staking for 170,000 atoms on Stride. And the next step is then going to be to use that ST atom to mint IST and then deploy IST to DeFi, including Shade Protocol, Quasar, Astrovault, and I think one or two more. Anyways, that's not the topic. The topic is really that this is turning Atom into interchain capital, into interchain collateral as well. So where is this all leading? This is all leading to Hydro. Hydro is the interchain auction platform for liquidity exports. Basically a way where the Cosmos Hub would lend out Atom liquidity or build a whole incentive system around Atom liquidity where applications can participate and basically bid for liquidity. And we've seen something very similar with Curve Wars, which is also something where Hydro is heavily inspired from. This is being developed by Informal, that are, by the way, also currently hiring. So they're hiring and setting up an entire team for Hydro, where they're also seeking a business development lead, a research analyst, and several Rust engineers, and you can apply there as well. And the problem that Hydro is actually going to resolve is actually multiple things. The main things I would say is the liquidity issue in the interchain. And another thing is also to position Atom more so as an interchain asset, an interchain collateral or capital that actually also has a business model for being a liquidity pair that's mostly deployed across the interchain. We saw proposals in the past from Neutron, Stride, Persistence, Osmosis, and Agoric, which I just talked about, but most of these efforts have actually been largely uncoordinated, manually executed, and led to a lot of inefficiencies and missed opportunities, aka no value accrual for Atom, besides obviously the potential upside of whatever they're doing in DeFi land or earning trading fees or whatever. But Hydro actually aims to elevate that and formalize that, modeled on Curve Wars, by applying a enhanced governance and strategic liquidity provision, an entire platform in which the Cosmos Hub primarily can capitalize on the demand from other projects to add Atom liquidity into their systems. The main features here are going to be token locking, voting rights, bidding rules, voting rules, and fund allocation rules. There's also going to be multiple rounds or multiple cohorts, basically, in which each Atom token holders can vote where these assets should be deployed. On the other hand, we also see efforts like this one from Sentinel that is now actually going to build a use case for retail applications using Atom for IBC-enabled payments on their dVPN platform, decentralized VPN services, which is what Sentinel is providing. And this is really cool to see that projects like Sentinel are also rallying behind Atom as money, Atom as currency, or interchain capital and collateral. And I think Atom has always been that and also continues to be that. But I think we need more teams like that to also rally behind this idea. Then I also briefly want to talk about FortyTwo, which is in a good position to once and for all fix the problem in Cosmos, which is terrible UX. Especially people that are not native to Cosmos, they get lost with doing IBC transfers back and forth, with jumping around from chain to chain to chain, and this is all super complex. Now, there are a lot of teams and projects working on what's called abstraction, which means to actually put all the IBC magic in the background, all the wallet magic in the background. We talked about smart accounts on Osmosis. We talked about all these innovations that are happening on a chain level. And now we have FortyTwo that is actually going to aggregate all of these efforts and become the ultimate unified interface for the Interchain. Basically a one-stop shop where you can connect whatever wallet, you can access whatever chain, whatever application, you can do trades, there's NFTs integrated. It's a one-stop shop from where you can do absolutely everything. And I think this is much needed. They also received pre-seed funding. Actually, the team, I think they firstly met at Cosmoverse, I think in Medellin 2022, which is where this whole idea kickstarted. They also won last year's pitching competition at Cosmoverse in Istanbul. So this is also something that I'm proud of to see that, Cosmoverse could have an impact to put FortyTwo together and provide a platform where the founders could meet. And they just made a teaser announcement here where they say FortyTwo coming very soon. I know also that the team has been working relentlessly and very, very hard over the past couple of months and years to ship, to build, to also raise some funds. And now we are almost there. So FortyTwo, one of the highly anticipated interfaces that could make all of our lives much, much easier. Anyways, that's it for today. Tomorrow, big day. We have the decision by the SEC about the Ethereum spot ETF, whether it's getting approved or not. If it gets approved, we will see a bit of a pump, of course. We're already seeing it. The decision is already being priced in as we speak. But I think still that there's going to be a big God candle as soon as this thing gets publicly, announced and is official. But in any case, brace for volatility. In the best case, I would say just sit back, have some popcorn, and watch the markets. Don't actively trade unless you're a professional trader. You know what you're doing. But I think this is a very, very hot ball right now, and it can go either way, right? If it gets now, after all this 180 talks and all these kind of things, if it now would get rejected, I think we would fall below the levels we were last week. And this would be a huge setback for the momentum and attraction that we've seen now in the recent days. But anyways, this is why trade with caution if you're trading, or don't trade at all. Just sit back, relax, wait 5-10 years. Crypto is for the long term. Also broaden your time horizon a little bit. Don't be impatient. Be more patient, be more relaxed, be more chill. Everything is going to work out fine. Crypto is the fastest growing industry under the sun. And if you're long enough in crypto, which means 5, 6, 7, 8 years, you're gonna make it. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Until then, stay safe and be good.